Hey, hey, hey.
I got a condo in Manhattan. Baby girl, what's happening? You and your ass invited. Not gonna get to clapping. Now pop it for a player, pop it for me.
What?
Turn around and drop it for a player, drop it for me.
And what? Okay. What's up, Bomb Squad? This is DC KOOLAID and
Lisa.
And we coming at you with a
Story time.
story time.
For like, you know, I think.
Well, Loudoun County school leaders have been quick to apologize for a lesson on the Underground Railroad gone very wrong. It was apparently meant to educate about these struggles to escape slavery,
right down the road from where we live.
Backfired big time. John Gonzalez is in Ashburn right now with the reaction from parents and the NWA.
Ashburn, Virginia.
I did not know. I pulled up.
And you know, Loudoun County has dealt with racially charged incidents, most recently KKK fires.
Ashburn, Virginia.
Spread out
It was a school,
on Martin Luther King
and they were doing recess. Apparently during recess time,
this elementary school
due to the fact it is February Black History Month.
Forced to play a slave game
So
they
it was gym.
Graders here at Madison.
Yeah, no, it was okay. It was gym or recess. All right, I'm gonna read
this month to pretend to be runaway slaves advancing through an obstacle course that represented the Underground Railroad. We understand there were at least 2 black children in the class. Now, the principal has apologized, saying this was not part of the school's curriculum, calling it an insensitive physical education activity during Black History Month.
When we tell our students to be responsible for a mistake, we hold ourselves to that same standard. We made a mistake. Needless to say, I think they realize the gravity of what happened. That has been emphasized with them. Again, this was making something trivial out of something that should never be made trivial. Slavery is never a game.
That is literally the tip of the iceberg. That's not an isolated incident. We have a long-standing list of incidents of racial discrimination and inequality in Loudoun. I am headed into a meeting now, an emergency meeting with the superintendent.
The school's saying they are working on a plan to be more racially sensitive in the future. No word on any disciplinary action here at the school. In Ashburn, Virginia, John Gonzalez, ABC 7 News.
Yeah.
Well, put it this way, it was several adults, teachers aides, you know, agreed to this game called Runaway Slaves. Now, you mean to tell me not one of them adults didn't say this is not right, you know?
So here we go.
That's
Michelle Thomas, who is the president of the NAACP chapter here in Virginia, the area we live in, said she learned that exercise last month in a letter that the pupils said were given a choice to be a slave, a sharecropper, or a landowner. Slavery is not a joke. But see, the reality of what she said was slavery was not a joke and you didn't get a choice. Because you didn't. There was no choice in being a slave. There was no choice. You were pulled from where you were pulled out of your home. You were kidnapped from your country. You were put on a ship where people were stacked like cords of wood. They were shackled together. They were barely fed. They laid in their own excrement. And if somebody died, if they didn't find them in time and throw the dead body to the sharks, you were left shackled to a dead body until the boat stopped. And then you were taken off the boat and put on a block to be sold to somebody to pick their crops, cook their food, watch their children,
clean their house.
You were sold so that they wouldn't have to pay someone to do that. There was not a choice in any of that. You had a choice to buy a slave. You had a choice. You could have said, no, I do not want to own someone to clean my house because I can pay them. Just like you pay for the slave, you can pay somebody to clean your house.
Right.
So there was no choice in slavery. Nor was it a joke, nor was it an exercise, nor was it a proper way of having a gym class. I've had gym classes, and I remember one time I had to dress out for gym. That was what we had to do. If you want to get an A, you have to dress out every day. So Oh, you had kids playing runaway slaves. What she was saying, that the kids were told that you need to run away. Told the board that having a black male student crawling around on the floor in the dark as he reenacted a lesson about a runaway slave is an offensive educational strategy. The principal said in a letter, this incident has revealed a need for us to further explore how we can ensure this will never happen again. Why do you need a committee? Or why do you need to enact something to understand that you do not give someone a choice to be a slave? Or the school that had the Black History Month program and had all the children have a black face mask in front of their face. The governor dressing in blackface and hugging this is for a Halloween party. And his friend dressing in Klan.
Oh yeah, I remember that picture.
Klan outfit. In no way, shape, or form, in any incarnation, is slavery something to what I'm looking for, exalt, to give this false sense of slavery was an option that people chose. Slavery was a choice that people chose.
And those kids were young.
It's elementary school.
Like 3rd grade.
So
3rd graders, 4th graders.
In no world is any of this proper. That being said, if you're an adult teacher, you're a teacher, you should know better. I'm so confused about situations that we allow our children to get into, and we allow the adults who have a responsibility to educate and care for our kids come with, we're going to further investigate a way for this never to happen again. Well, everybody's fired, and we get more people who have common sense.
Right? Because it seemed like somebody should have stepped up and said, hey, I don't think we should, this is right, we shouldn't play this.
Who okayed this situation? Because, I mean, most teachers I know have a lesson plan. Lesson plans have to be turned in and have to be approved. So who said, hey, that's a good idea? Instead of just saying, let's not. Let's play some dodgeball or something. In 3rd grade, they can play dodge. I mean, then
tag.
Yeah. Kickball.
Something.
Run around. Shit. The kids just run around in a circle.
They do.
They just run around in a damn circle. Let them be free. Give them 30 minutes outside. Hell, they'll run out. They'll run off. Yeah. I hear all the time we should get over slavery. Racism is a thing of the past. Yeah, but that doesn't happen nowadays.
Well, technically, since this is story time, and we talk about a situation that happened out here in Ashburn, which is around the corner from us, I can recall moving out here about 20 years ago. I say that wrong. And experiencing racism. You know, I was at the CVS. I gave the lady the money in her hand, and she, you know, back then I used to carry cash a lot. Now I don't carry no cash, but it was like I gave her a 20, and she, I think that it might have cost me like 12, 13 bucks, so she had to give me some dollars and change, and she slapped it on the counter. And I looked at her and I said, I didn't give you my money on that counter. And she looked at me like, and then I went on and said, I didn't give you my money on the counter. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. But I guess she knew and realized she knew what she was doing. But she trying to keep her job at the same time because I want to speak to your manager, you know. Then there was another episode, same CVS area over there in Centerville. My ex, I was working my part-time job, the one I'm still working now. I'm working and I'm like maybe 4 miles, not even 4 miles, let's say 2.5 miles away from that store. And she calls me up and said, a lady, apparently she was parking her car at the CVS and the lady was backing out. And the lady screamed, "Nigger, you need to watch what you're doing." And she was like, "Excuse me?" And she said, the lady repeatedly said that. And she was so upset, she calls me. So by the time I get there on the scene, the lady obviously was gone. So racism, I don't believe it has left because, you know, people out here, you know, they still do stuff like that, you know, because I remember being in a mall. The same young lady, my ex and Brittany went shopping. I wanted to go in Foot Locker. So I don't know if y'all know how Foot Locker or any shoe store always have the, what you call it? The clearance. Mm-hmm. Well, they had a clearance rack so close to the wall rack. So I'm standing close to where the shoes at. This man politely just walked. I mean, a white guy. He walked right in front of me as I'm, you know. But my instinct, because I was from DC, and back then I was a little, how do you want to call it? Hood, ratchet, you want to say?
Little hoodie.
I grabbed the man. He was a white man, Caucasian man. I should say Caucasian, be right. You know, because I don't have no problem.
I don't even know if that's right. I mean, I don't know what to call nobody. Correctness makes my ass itch. He white, we black. Let's go.
I grabbed him and I pulled him back. And I said, "Sir, don't you see me?" What? And you know, because I think I got fed up with the issue because it's been happening a lot when I moved out Virginia. So it's like, for some reason, they still have their areas. But that guy, he apologized. He was like he wasn't paying attention. You know, he was just trying to get his shoes, go out. But you, like, clearly walked right in front of me, like, squeezed. Because I was not far and not too close to the shoes. But he squeezed in front of me. And I think I just got fed up with it. You know what I'm saying?
They don't think you're going to say anything. And then when you do say something, oh, this was in Atlanta.
Okay.
No, I'm pulling that up because I don't want to show the picture. Don't want to see the picture. Because I made my Google topic specific. That's why, because I knew there was another one.
Yeah, but it's just I guess, like I said, I got tired of people just doing stuff ever since I moved out of Virginia. You know, because there was other things that happened. I mean, a lot of things happen out here. But you know, the last couple of years since we've been out here, I haven't experienced anything, you know, out the norm. But before, shoot, when I first moved out here, it was happening like every time I look. And they don't believe in saying thank you. They wouldn't hold the door, like, you know, you hold the door for the next person. Nope, that wasn't happening. It was just too much. And then that day when that man went past and did that, I just grabbed him and pulled him back and told him, "Sir, don't you see me looking at these shoes?" And he was being very apologetic, but I just felt some kind of way.
He got caught. It's because he got caught because you said something. Because people assume, when they do things like that, they assume that you're not going to say anything, so they can be as rude as they want to be, and they don't have any repercussions for their actions. You made him responsible for his actions, so he could be nothing but apologetic. But the reality is that people do what they do because they don't care about your feelings. At my job, I've had people say, I don't want a nigga to wait on me, so they got put out. Brittany, the little black girl that waits the table.
They told her that?
Yep.
I thought you said they told you that. You better call me.
No.
Good.
And you have little white girls that work there, little servers that work there, say the N-word, just say nigga like they can say it. I mean, I went to work the other day, and there was a little sign on the little board saying, "You cannot say the N-word." You should not tell nobody that. You think you can say nigga because you got a black boyfriend?
Oh, they put that on y'all board?
Well, Javon wrote it. He told them that they couldn't say it because they just saying it willy-nilly, throwing a word out there. I don't care what I say.
But hold up, what about Chick-fil-A, that sign that you said it was outside?
This wasn't about black people.
But still, it was
This was a sign that said, we hire English-speaking people. I'm going,
would they do that?
basically you just said, we don't hire people that don't speak English. That's what you said.
That's still wrong.
Oh yeah, that's why I said, but I mean, that's what they said. But then Chick-fil-A also don't want us in there either.
Right.
So
it's just a lot. I mean, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, or the people that I believe this. A few people at my bar is low key racist. I think they used to think I was white. So one day I said something about being black, and they was like, "Oh shit." When the thing with Colin Kaepernick happened, the reality is everybody was coming in there talking about he should shut up, sit down, this and the third. I'm sitting there going, number one, white man, you don't have the same fear as a black man. Mm-hmm. You can't speak on why he's doing that because that is not your condition. That's not a part of your life. He was kneeling because he got tired of seeing young black and brown men dying at the hands of the police. So he wanted to start a dialogue. That was his way of protesting. Tim Tebow did the exact same thing. Took a knee during the national anthem because he wanted to protest abortion. Number one, Mr. Tebow, you can't have them. So what are you protesting? That is not for you to protest. You can have one. So when he did it, it was fine. But when Mr. Kaepernick did it, there was an issue. And then everybody had an issue with saying, you should just throw a ball. You should just do this. Why? Because he's a little black man.
You know what? I remember, I don't know how far back you can think, but I remember when I was a kid, I want to say I was younger than Nick. Maybe 10, 11, something like that. No more than that. And we would go down Louisiana, like I told you guys a long time ago, for the newcomers. We would go down Louisiana to my grandma's house for the summer every year. And I remember, I can recall my grandma and my papa was like, don't y'all go on that street over there. You don't belong on that street over there. And as a kid, what you gonna do? You gonna go on the street? No, we went over there, but we had bikes. So we would ride our bike, and then my brother was like, let's ride. I'm like, okay, let's ride over there. They riding their bikes. So we rode on the street that she told us not to go on. Well, it was the street because their house, which is still their house, the mom's house, is still there. And it's like a street, like, they got this big land, so it was like, the street is like directly over there at the next street from their land. And we rode the bike, and we were like, okay, we can ride the bike down the street, come down the bottom where the bayou is, and the bayou take you right through the gravel road to go back to grandma's house. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a U shape. So we gonna do it. We rode it. Why we do that? It was a lot of Caucasian kids. A lot of them. And they had those bottle rocket things that you light and it goes. They had them things. They was shooting them things at us. They was trying to, oh man, they was shooting at us. Boy, it was scary because picture a bunch of them kids trying to blow us up with those things. I guess that's what they were trying to do. But ever since then, we never went down that street. We didn't go down that street because it was like
that's just visiting the South. I lived there.
But see, down that street they had what you call those houses? Plantation houses. They had the plantation houses, and my grandma actually used to clean one of them, and she said, "Don't go down that street." And then we told her what happened. She said, "Didn't I tell y'all don't go down that street? Y'all stay y'all asses in this house. Y'all ain't going nowhere for a while."
The whole head make a saw behind.
Yeah, but it was, that's when I first experienced racism.
The South is just whatever it is.
Then the second time I experienced it, I was a teenager by then, and we was down south again, and they was having a Mardi Gras parade, small one going down the main street. It's called Main Street, and it was these guys, white, older men, looked like they were scruggly, just scary looking, and they was spitting, and I was like, oh no. We can't, I was ready to go. That was the worst. That was the worst time I ever seen something like that. So, yeah, I experienced it. I experienced it out here in Virginia. I never experienced it in D.C. or Maryland, none of those two places. But when I moved out of Virginia, I had like flashbacks of when I was a kid. So, for them to have those kids to be running around slaves, that was crazy. You ever experienced anything?
I was raised in the South. You weren't. So YOLO, once in a while, was every day. Somebody saying nigga, white folks saying nigga. I was mixed, so it was a plethora of bullshit I had to go through down there in the South. My daddy white, mama black. So I got it from black folks and white folks. My grandmother, who I told you before, looks like Cicely Tyson. She reminded me of Cicely Tyson. They used to think she was my nanny or my servant or my babysitter instead of my grandmama. They would act like she wasn't there. We would be in the line going at whatever JCPenney, Sears, whatever store, because she liked those stores. And the white lady would just walk in front of her, and I would be like, excuse me. She'd be like, no, don't say nothing. Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, don't you see us standing here? Oh, hell, the line's back there. I had a stank ass attitude for a long time, and that might have something to do with it. I don't know. But the reality is that racism is a person to person. But what happens is that enough people get together, it becomes a problem. I don't care what you do and who you are. If you don't hurt me or anybody else I love, regardless of your color, I like you or dislike you on you, not for the color of your skin. So, but there is enough people that I don't even know if they think it's cute. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that causes people to do the things that they do in the name of racism, in the name of discriminating against somebody for the color of their skin or the sexual orientation. I don't know why we think that it's cute to have kids pretend to be slaves or pick cotton, or have children read a poem by a black poet in blackface. I don't know why these things happen in 2019. I doubt seriously racism will be ever leave, and if it does, my son will probably be a great-great-grandfather by that time, if he's still alive at all. But the reality is, it is here. It plays a part in people's day-to-day life. And if you continue to ignore it or try to ignore it or say it's gone, then you are destined to repeat history. You're destined. We have people in Alabama calling for lynchings to return. We have people in positions of that that have effect on us, lawmakers, things like that, saying that if my child were gay, I would drown them. You have multi-billion-dollar fashion companies using blackface and racist imagery to sell their things to black people. You have parents having to teach their young black sons extra things when they go out and dealing with the police.
But I think, as far as like kids, you have kids, that's all they see, especially in the Caucasian family, so you have kids, like younger kids, walk around disrespecting, you know, the African American kids because of the way they raised. You know how you have kids in the household and that's what they see, that's how they talk and they hear. So then they go out in public.
That's the world, but I don't understand why kids or young people are racist. I don't understand. You want Jordans. I don't know what color you think Michael is, but no. You want to listen to rap. A couple of white rappers, you know, Eminem, I love it, but it's really more predominantly a black situation. Football, basketball.
Right.
So I don't know why these kids are racist. I don't know why this happens. It does happen because that's what they're taught. They're taught that nigga is okay for them to say, and slavery didn't happen, I guess. Shit, like they say about the Holocaust, or it wasn't that bad, you know. You know, they didn't mind that shit. This is a topic that
can go on and on
forever. The reality is that if you're in a situation and somebody presents you with a topic, say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to let shit slide. You don't have to hope that somebody else will say something. If you see something, say something. It's the same way with racism. If you're a teacher and you see them about to do some dumb shit like a slave, if you want to be a slave, say, I don't think we should do that.
Right.
And don't participate in it. If you're a teacher and you think it's cool to get somebody over-exaggerated blackface mask to say a poem by a black poet, then say no, I don't think we should do that.
Right. And it was like they said it was 4 teachers out there.
Say no. You do not say no. Stop perpetuating. If you do not believe in this shit and you just going along with the crowd, then you believe in it. Make no mistake about it. If you don't say something, you're just as complicit as those who are doing it willingly, because you're willingly following them. You don't have to. You take your shit and your teachers and your students and say, like, no, we're not going to participate in that. We're going to go over here. Y'all shouldn't do that either.
But they...
In any situation, black, white, green, purple, or orange, don't do it because the white folks do it. If that don't make it right. Don't do wrong shit because somebody else do it. Do right stuff and hopefully they'll follow you.
But that's just like your child come home and say, Mommy, we played this game called Runaway Slave.
Son, I'm about to play this game called I'm about to go to jail.
Right?
Because I'm about to go down and show my ass. I'm about to show the hell out. Because you're not about to make my son sit up there and think slavery was some cool shit that black people did. You're not about to sit up there and make my son think that black people decided to get 400 deep on a ship that only take 100 people and come over to a country where they wasn't. So you're not about to make my kid think none of this shit was cool, because there's nothing cool about slavery. There's nothing cool about racism. There's nothing cool about hating a race of people because they're different than you. There's nothing cool about that. There's nothing cool about that. And it reverses. If you don't like white people just because they're white, make no mistake, you are just as bad. Because just like not all black people are good, not all white people are bad. It's a case-to-case, person-to-person basis. And if everybody just did that, if everybody in the world just did that, you would see how much a lot of this bullshit would disappear. But we can't do that because we have to follow behind another motherfucker. I'm sorry about my cuss words, but shit. We have to follow behind somebody else. Be you. It's okay if you right and by yourself. Don't be wrong just because you with a whole bunch of other people. Slavery was not a choice. And it was nothing that you want to propagate. Be right when you teach. Teachers out there, if you hear this, say no. Don't follow because of your job. Don't let these kids grow up thinking that it's okay to hate. Don't let these kids grow up thinking that it's okay to be disrespectful. Don't let these kids grow up and think that because they're a certain race, they are better than or less than anybody. Stop it.
All right, Bomb Squad, we're going to close this out for our story time today. And anything you have to say, comments down below. Hit that like button. Share this video because somebody might need to hear this. You know, people just sometimes don't have that.
Say no.
Some people don't have that knowledge. They just think it's okay and it's not okay.
Just say no might not work with kids having sex or kids trying drugs. But it will work. No, I'm not going to participate in that. No, I'm not going to teach that. No, I'm not going to tell them that. That includes at your home with your child. If you have a view, that's fine. Don't make your kids be something they're not trying to be you. If you can't teach them the right thing, don't teach them shit. Don't teach them wrong because you grew up, you knew it was wrong, but that's how my mama was and that's how I grew up, so you know, stop.
Sometimes you gotta change that pattern.
Sometimes you gotta stop it. Sometimes you gotta stop it. You couldn't help how you were raised, but you can't help how you raise your kids.
Alright guys, smash that notification bell.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
This DC KOOLAID.
This is Lisa.
And we out.
Love you, bye.
Yeah. DC KOOLAID and Lisa doing challenge on your head top. Yeah, you know what's happening when you tune in. Story times, pranks, and vlogging, man. We a great big family, we the Bomb Squad. We on that grind to a number with a K, best believe you'll stay. You can chill with the fam like most of y'all do. DC KOOLAID, Lisa, and Nick too. With Charles and Barbie living that YouTube life. We love our fans and supporters, we a family dude. So come on down to Bomb Squad Town. Have a seat watching videos. And nobody likes to hate, keep it positive and have a nice day. Oh, I forgot. Smash that like button. Bomb Squad. Bomb Squad. Bomb Squad. Hey!